Waz Players present Showcasing the Stars, featuring the cast, crew, and pit of the 2020 production, Phantom of the Opera.
Welcome to Showcasing the Stars, Episode 5, Save the Drama. Today we're going to hear from cast members specifically talking about how important it is to keep the drama on the stage. So, without further ado, let's introduce those cast members.
Hi, my name is Lauren Brand, and I play Christine Daae in The Phantom of the Opera.
Hello, my name is Allyson Arenson, and I play Carlotta Giudicelli in Phantom of the Opera.
Hello, my name is Jackson Bortree. I am an ensemble member for Phantom of the Opera.
Hello there, my name is Kenny Vandermark, and I play the part of Ubaldo Piangi.
Hi, my name is Paige Geesey, and I play a ballet dancer in Phantom of the Opera.
Next, cast members are going to explain what they think save the drama means. And then after that, they're going to give an example of a time when the drama got in the way of the actual drama, the show.
What would I say save the drama means? I would say that save the drama means to not let anything that might be going on outside of the show distract you from doing your absolute best and putting every ounce of energy you have into the show. Whether you be in the cast, acting on stage, or backstage in the crew, or playing in the pit, it's super important that everybody puts in 100% in order for the show to be as amazing as it possibly can be. And when you might get distracted by things that are going on, say you had a bad day at school that day, or maybe you got into a fight with your friend, it can really put a damper on things in the rehearsal process. And being able to just let everything go and focus on whatever you have to do in rehearsal that day really does make a difference to put the whole show together.
Personally, I believe save the drama means to stop complaining, stop whining, and just shutting it, rather than talking back and being disrespectful. A lot of people like to complain rather than take direction, and it a lot of times gets in the way of the real art of performance.
Saving the drama can go two different ways. You can either mean save the drama for the stage, or just save the drama entirely. Get it out of here. We don't want it. I personally think that you should save the drama for the stage. That's where the drama belongs. But if it gets too far, then yeah, get it out of here. Not like personally, but like take the drama out of here. You stay, drama go.
I think save the drama means that instead of causing arguments with other cast or crew members or touching set or prop pieces that you're not supposed to be touching, you should save all of your energy for the stage, so that way you can focus on your acting and your singing and things like that, so that way you can make the show the best it can possibly be.
If I had to think of a time when drama got in the way of the show, I would say my mind goes back to the rehearsal process of Peter and the Starcatcher this past fall. It had been brought to our attention that some members of the cast and crew were feeling very left out and almost isolated and alone at the time, and some even complained about the rehearsal environment, saying that it wasn't very all-inclusive. And that really did put a damper on our ability to move the show along. There was a long period of time where rehearsals almost felt stuck, and we couldn't seem to progress. We couldn't seem to improve at all. And eventually, though, we were able to all come together as the family that the Waz Players is and make that show absolutely amazing. It was such a funny, upbeat, comical show, and even after what a rough rehearsal process we had, we were still able to just come together and make it awesome.
I wish I had a really funny story about a time drama got in the way, but my example happens to take place during Phantom of the Opera. I know if we were able to put on the show, it would have all come together and it would have been incredible. But during the rehearsal process, a lot of people had dropped out, and a lot of people wouldn't show up to rehearsal without any notice beforehand. And it really affected the people that would show up to rehearsal every day and work hard, because without everybody, the show isn't able to happen. And when people weren't there, it got in the way of us being able to improve as performers and become performance ready.
One time I can really think of when drama got in the way was during the fall show last year, Peter and the Starcatcher. It was the first Saturday rehearsal. You're like, no, it's a Saturday rehearsal. Things always go wrong. But when I saw from the last year's Saturday rehearsals, this one really did take the cake. I mean, like, I'm not blaming anybody. I'm definitely not. I'm just saying, like, it got very dramatic. And not in a good way either.
I can't remember a specific memory from when drama really got in the way of the show during Phantom, but I know that one event that normally does cause drama is when the cast list comes out. And I think one really important thing to remember is that no matter what role you got, whether it was the role you wanted or maybe the role you didn't want, everybody in the cast and crew is needed to make the show the best it can be, and you should embrace the role you have or the job and crew that you have so that way you can make the show the best it can be.
I had the opportunity to interview the cast members this week through Zoom. So there will be a few questions asked on this interview, and then at the end we play a really fun game. So please enjoy.
Okay, welcome everybody. Today's episode is Save the Drama. So I want to start with a few questions specifically about your characters from Phantom of the Opera and some of the drama that ensues within our show. So Phantom of the Opera is a show within a show, and many of you play performers in that show. So first I want to start with Kenny and Alison. You guys play, Alison, you play Carlotta, and Kenny, you play Piangi. Your characters are full of drama and they create a lot of drama in the show. So I'd love for you guys to share what drama your characters face and how they deal with it throughout the production. So whoever wants to start.
Okay. So throughout the show, Carlotta feels constantly upstaged by Christine because she feels like she's going to be, she feels like Christine is going to take her role basically. So she's like worried and angry and full of just like so much anger because she's so worried, and it's really fun because she's like the most dramatic character in the entire show. So yeah, that's probably her biggest fear, is being upstaged.
Okay.
And yeah.
Kenny.
I would say the one dramatic thing though is that I am basically like a sidekick to Carlotta, even though like we're both married, I would say, but like I'm always there to like back her up and say like, hey, yeah, this should, like, you should just give this to her.
So the other characters, so Lauren plays Christine, and you and Carlotta do have a lot of drama between each other throughout the entire show. And I'd love to hear also from Paige and Jackson at some point in time about how your characters feel about all of these characters. So about Carlotta, about Piangi, about Christine, because the other performers in the opera house definitely have opinions on who these people are and how they work with each other. So let's start first with Lauren. I'd love to hear your Christine side of things as it pertains to the drama with Carlotta.
Yeah, so I think it's very interesting because a lot of times Christine is like portrayed as just like this like standard, like, oh, like kind of like, you know, like the young, like, I don't know, like very naive. And so it's kind of interesting for me to see because the way like that the order of events all kind of plays out, she gets just thrown into everything all at once. Like she didn't really ask to be put in like the position that she's put in, like taking over Carlotta's position when she walks out, for example. And I think it's interesting to see Carlotta's reaction towards her, because Carlotta's obviously a very, very aggressive woman and definitely will not take no for an answer, no ifs, ands, or buts.
Okay, great. Paige or Jackson, your character's reactions to the drama that is going on in the opera house?
So I think as a ballet dancer, all of the ballet dancers are really excited for Christine in the beginning of the show because she was one of them. And I think throughout the show, there's a lot of fear that is shown within the ballet dancers. But I think throughout the whole show, we don't really like Piangi, excuse me. but we're very supportive of Christine because she was one of us at one point.
When it comes to being a performer for Phantom of the Opera, drama is a very big thing when it comes to theater. But for Phantom, for example, Pianji, he's a bumbling idiot. So whenever he messes up on stage, it's important to know your reaction to it. Like, you shouldn't really feel bad for him. He should know his stuff. He's a professional, per se. You should feel like, what's wrong with you? You do bad thing. You get punished. Or like, then there's Carlotta, who's like, you're scared of Carlotta. Who wouldn't be scared of Carlotta? It's like, she will strike you down with her mighty thunder. And then there's the Phantom. You're scared of him too. He'll kill you. He'll put you on your deathbed.
That's right. So getting off track of the Phantom of the Opera, just as performers in general, you guys have all been involved in theater for a while. I want to know what your preference is. Do you prefer to perform in a comedy or a drama? And why?
Personally, I think it's more fun to perform in a comedy. But that might be only because I've never really been a serious role, so I'm not quite sure how being in that position feels. But for me, I don't know, playing a funny character is so much more just interesting and fun for me. And I don't know, it just makes the entire process I don't know, because I don't have the other hand to say it makes the process more enjoyable, because I'm sure that's not true, but it is a lot more fun to take on rather than playing a really heavy part. So yeah.
I would say I would prefer being in a comedy more, because I feel like it's based more on personality, first of all, because personally for me, I think that I have a pretty comedic personality. So yeah, I would rather, because I feel like I wouldn't get bored, but a drama just wouldn't really fit into me. So
I personally would enjoy to be in more of a comedic situation than a dramatic situation, but I do enjoy both. I'm not sure why. It's I enjoy being in a comedy. For example, Honk Jr., my role was a comedic purpose, very comedic if you saw it, but then I have never actually been in a more dramatic situation. It would be a nice change of pace to be in a much more dramatic situation than a comedic situation, but I enjoy both.
I'm gonna have to agree with Jackson on that one. In the fact that I enjoy both of them pretty much equally, but for different reasons, I would say. I love acting in comedic roles, especially for example when we did Peter and the Starcatcher, because the characters were so over the top and you could do so much with them, and it was just so much fun with all the physical comedy, and you could just put everything out there, every ounce of energy you had. But I also like dramatic roles because it's interesting to delve into the character and just work with that character and really think about psychological stuff that's going on, and it's just very interesting. So I enjoy both of them.
I enjoy doing both of them. I think along the same reasons as Lauren. I think it's really fun to do comedy because it's fun to get a reaction out of the audience. But it's also really fun to do dramatic shows because you get to, I think it's more in depth with all the characters.
So as a way of showing how stressful and difficult it is during the rehearsal process, I've devised a little game, and the cast members here now, they have already gotten a little bit of a lowdown on how this game is going to go, but I'll explain it to our audience. For this game, we're going to have a host. We're basically going to make a fictitious talk show, and we're going to have one of our cast members act as host and ask questions to two people who are going to be fictitious guests. We're then going to have the other two people play. One person is going to play a stage manager who's going to keep time for each of the questions, and we are going to have a director who is going to assign tasks to the guests as the questions are being asked of them. Once the director gives you a task and the host asks a question, the stage manager will start the time, and each guest will have a minute to answer their question and perform the task. Our lovely host is going to be Alison, and she's going to come up with her own host introduction. Our director will be Paige, Our stage manager will be Jackson, and our two guests will be Lauren and Kenny.
Hello, everyone. My name is Helen Wallace, and welcong to our glorious talk show. Today, we have two guests, guest one and guest two, Jenny Pignoli and Bing Bong. So, if guest one would like to introduce yourself, tell us a little something about yourself, maybe a fun fact.
Hi, my name is Jenny Pignoli, and I am on this show because I want to have fun, and I think it would be an interesting experience to see how many things get thrown at me and how well I can roll.
Fantastic. On to guest two, Bing Bong. What do you have to say?
Well, hi there. My name is Bing Bong, and I was just walking down the street, and I got a flyer that said, "Hey, come on this show," and I just wanted to test my skill. So
fantastic, because we are having trouble finding people to come on this show. All right, so on to Jenny. We're gonna start with your question first. What is the hardest part of the rehearsal process?
You must do 50 jumping jacks.
Can I turn my camera so you can see?
Okay. All right.
Time starts now.
Okay, so I'm not counting the jumping jacks, but I would say the most difficult part of the rehearsal process is definitely the first few months of rehearsal, when you're really trying to get everything set in stone, and you're first learning all of like your blocking and your lines and your songs and your dances and everything, because once you get those set, you can get more in depth with your character and work more on the nitty-gritty.
30 seconds!
But it's very important that you first get a strong foundation and learn all of like the technical stuff that you need to know in order for the show to go the way it's supposed to go. That's about all I have. I'm not counting the jumping jack.
10 seconds.
I'm just gonna keep going. How much time do I have left?
You're done.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Great job on those jumping jacks. I love to see endurance.
Thank you.
On to Bing Bong. Question 2. Explain the audition process and how it affects the relationships of the people involved.
You must mime painting a portrait.
What? Wait, what? I'm sorry. What?
You must mime painting a portrait.
Okay. So,
You gotta pick your timer.
Time starts now.
the audition process. Can you repeat the question?
Yes, of course. What is the audition process like, and how does it affect the relationships of the people involved?
The audition process is like we go through separate sections, such as one section is dancing, one section is blocking and reading lines and acting, and
30 seconds.
You're
yeah.
getting a little sloppy there, Bing Bong.
I'm sorry. Yeah. The way it can affect a relationship is because you might get a role that somebody else
10 seconds left.
That can ruin friendships or something like that. Yeah, that's
You're
about
done.
it. Thank you. I don't know what I painted.
Great job, Bing Bong. Fantastic. I don't know if you'll get as many points as Jenny did, but still great job. Question 3, Jenny. What is life like the day the cast list goes up?
You must mime putting on makeup or doing your hair.
Time starts now.
Okay, so the day the cast list goes up is always like the scariest day of my life. That morning I always wake up and I'm like literally already shaking. It's kind of terrifying. And usually what happens is my friends and I agree not to look at the cast list until we know that everybody is actually at school, so we can all look at it together. And it's just full of just nerves and everybody being
30
nervous,
seconds left.
waiting outside of the black box to wait for the cast list to come up. And then when it finally comes up, it's just an emotion of just
every emotion you can think of. Some people are celebrating, some people are crying. There's like tons of people crowded around the list. It's just it's scary, but it's also fun. It's an experience. What can I say? It's an experience. I keep talking with my hands.
You're good.
Okay.
Great job, Jenny. Congratulations. On to question 4 for Bing Bong. Here's a chance to redeem yourself. Question 4, what is the relationship of the cast, crew, and pit after opening night? Is there a change from the rehearsal process to then?
You must do rehearsal warm-ups.
Time starts now.
Okay, so from opening night, I would say that the relationship of the cast, crew, and pit seems a lot different because I feel like everyone is brought closer together and they know that we actually accomplished something. So, yeah, that's about what I think about that. I mean, not everyone really gets to see each other at a time, such as the cast and pit, but at the end, after
30 seconds, keep on stretching.
After opening night, yeah, that's what we, how now, brown cow, how now, brown, yeah, anyways, yeah, I feel like everybody is, a lot closer together.
10 seconds left, you're in your final stretch.
Like people could, think how people could be split apart.
You're good.
Great job, Bing Bong. Congratulations. You both competed, both did a wonderful, wow, I can't speak. Both did a wonderful job, and I would say, about a tie. I think we've come to the end of our game show. I'd say congratulations to everyone. I want to give a special thank you to my director, my stage manager, for really bringing this show together. I'm hoping this blows up. TLC, sponsor us. Thank you.
Okay, well done, everybody. So I want to talk about kind of why I was trying to think of the best way I could possibly show how many things are going on in your head at once, and why drama might ensue during a rehearsal process. So maybe you guys can think a little bit about what you just had to do, especially the guests. I think the guests were thrown a lot of things, the host too, because you were kind of playing, you had to kind of improv that on your own. Why might drama ensue throughout a rehearsal process of a show? You could even think of some of the questions I asked too that might bring back some of that.
I feel like a way that drama can ensue is like, let's say that we're getting closer to the show's opening, and like some people might think that, wow, this is going very well, and some people might think we have a lot of work to do. So if you say to someone who thinks that like we have a lot of work to do, they could probably say like, no, we don't, there's a lot off, and I'm really worried about how this is going to go. So that's about how I would think that the biggest way it could ensue.
Yeah, like, I mean, I agree when people don't generally disagree, like a more of an uproar of drama can take place, but a lot of people get really frustrated with each other because we spend so much time with each other. So when someone hasn't practiced or still forgets something, which happens all the time, a lot of people get angry and frustrated with not only that person but with themselves, and it creates a lot of tension for the cast, and it's just like it's not fun. And I think a lot, like by the end of the day, when you have 7 o'clock rehearsals, 9 o'clock rehearsals, people are exhausted and like cranky and grumpy, and it's just kind of turns into like a nightmare. Yeah. So yeah.
I think another thing that can factor into it is a lot of times with theater, you don't have a decision as to like who you're getting cast with and who you have to interact with on stage. And so sometimes you might have to like interact with someone and work closely with someone who maybe you can't stand. And that can definitely like I can't talk. That can definitely like play into a lot of drama that might ensue, because it's hard to like forget about anything that might be stressing you out in rehearsal sometimes. It's hard to just kind of put everything you might be thinking about in the back of your mind and focus. And sometimes if you have to work with people that you don't generally get along with, that can definitely put like a damper on things.
I think along the same lines as with the cast list, I think the cast list can cause a lot of drama sometimes. I think that there can be jealousy involved, which can lead to drama backstage and things like that if someone didn't necessarily get the role that they wanted.
Drama can go two ways. There are people who take it head on and try to deal with it themselves, and then there are people who just ignore it, go with it smoothly, just deal with something else instead of the drama, work on their stuff, and just be cool with it.
Okay, well, thank you. I totally 100% agree. I think obviously we want to strive to save the drama for the stage, and sometimes it is hard to do that, and it's hard to get past some of the challenges we face every single day. So I hope that this episode helps people to kind of put things in perspective, and in the future when we're in the middle of productions or any part of your life where there's a stressful situation and dramatic elements, people can think rationally and behave appropriately. So thank you guys very much for participating today.
Thank you so much for joining us this week. I hope you will take from this episode that in tense and stressful situations, we all can react with drama, but I hope in the future we've learned to save the drama for the stage. Please make sure that you subscribe, comment below for the WAS players, and share this so that other people get to enjoy the episodes we create week to week. Next week is our Making Music episode, where we will have some special guests from the pit and hopefully some really fantastic music. Stay tuned. Thanks. Bye-bye.